So I would like to introduce myself first, and I will introduce briefly what the project is, and then you will introduce yourself, and after that we will go through the structure of the workshop. And after the structure of the workshop, we'll go to the first day, like we'll take some few lecture, like welcome talks. And then tomorrow we will start. I think I already sent you the link for tomorrow. I think we will start. I didn't actually remember the day, the time.
Yeah, it's at 10 a.m.
At 10, yeah. And then we will meet once more in a month, sometime in October or so. So first of all, my name is Tamer Abu Alam. I am an assistant professor here at the UIT, the University of Tromsø, the Arctic University of Norway. And this workshop actually is part of another big umbrella called the Cloud Earth Eye project. And the Cloud Earth Eye, it's an EU project funded from the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, with an aim to increase competence, increase capacity, increase awareness between academic, non-academic who are working in the academic sector, like in the administration part of the academic sector, and within the student community, about two things, about the challenge that we have, environmental challenge and biodiversity and circular economy, all of the such challenge that we have as society due to the climate change and crossing the planetary boundary and so on. And the second point is how we can use the big data in general, or scientific data in general, to understand and to analyze this this challenge and try to find solution for it. The Cloud Earth Eye actually includes several work package, includes several activity. One of them is what we are working with it now, this workshop. And this workshop actually is oriented to the academic. So most of you are academic working at university, or maybe you can find non-academic person who are like working in administration also can join this workshop. We have activities related to students, like we run teaching program for students. We so far run a basic course to them, and in this basic course we teach them the challenge that we have. We try to give them an overview of the challenge, and then we tell them more about the cloud, the big data, and the challenge, or not the challenge, the opportunity that linked to the big data, and how we can understand these different challenge using big data, and how everything can be connected to the business sector, and how we or how society try to find a way to build economic sector or business sector that doesn't hurt the environment. Also, we have a conference. So we have something called the Cloud Earth Eye Conference. This conference actually, the next version, the first version was in May. It was in Austria, and then the next version will be in Alicante, Spain, and hopefully in 2 years will be in Edinburgh University. So actually, the conference is going each year or annual in a country of the consortium. We have several digital hubs. We have something called the Cloud Earth Digital Hub. This is sort of platform of communication between academic and business sector, academic and students and business sector, and of course from business sector to the other stakeholder. And in Edinburgh University, I know that two of you are from Edinburgh, right? Yeah. So yeah. So in Edinburgh University, we are now working with the Edinburgh Innovation, which is a company affiliated to Edinburgh University. We develop now a hub or an online tool for students. If any student has an idea, for example, to run a business, This tool will help the students to make the idea sustainable enough to be more friendly with the environment and with the ecological system in general. So this is like an overview of the project. I have to say a few words about our partner. Actually, the project is in six countries. The lead partner is in Norway, here, Tromsø University. We have, of course, Edinburgh University. Edinburgh University lead the business part of the partner together with a company called G-Force in Slovakia. We have the Technical University of Varna in Bulgaria. We have University of Applied Science, Burgenland in Austria, and Alicante University in Spain. This is 6 countries and 6 universities in this consortium. However, our target group is not restricted to this 6 universities or 6 countries. We are open, so everything is open access. Anyone can join our courses. We have students from China, we have students from Africa joined our program. We have academic people already joined this course or this workshop in the previous version from Africa, from everywhere. So we are just open. So this is myself. So now the floor for you. Maybe Randall, you can start.
Yeah, thank you. So my name's Randall Reinhardt. I work at the University of Edinburgh. I work in the basically the international office, and we run a few programs. So one in particular is kind of a course that puts students on teams and they work towards global challenges. It's very similar to the kind of thing that you described. So that's why I was interested in this course and seeing if there's something that I could, learn, take back, and if we could improve the course, or if we're going to look to, creating new similar courses. So yeah.
Yep. Then maybe next, right?
Yeah, it's really nice to, get to learn from you, and you've done so much. You have so much collaboration. So I'm here because I'm designing a course for outer space law. So it's an online interactive course. So we want to implement as much as technology as we can, and with the current day, like you said, sustainable mechanisms of how we can incorporate environmental principles into it. So we want to collaborate something really live for the online course. So I'm here to learn where I can get the best from you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Then Rafi, Dr. Rafi.
First of all, I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Tamer, for this invitation. I'm Refueling Wardani from Egypt. I'm an assistant lecturer in Al-Azhar University. Now I have a PhD scholarship in China, at Chang'an University, and I'm interested to study ore deposit, especially for gold deposit genesis. Thank you so much for this invitation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, so this is great. I can see now we are 3, and I think all of you have agenda. I hope that the course by the end, or this workshop by the end in October, you will get the conclusion out of it. And I have to say, for example, when we run this course for the first time, after the first day, I get negative feedback from the audience that this is not our expectation and so on. And after the second day and the third day of the course, they start to get the point out of it. So actually, the main aim out of this course is to increase awareness of the need of designing multidisciplinary courses. And then we after that, so actually this is the structure of the course. So the first day, today and tomorrow, is sort of like to discuss the importance of designing these multidisciplinary courses, the challenge that we have in order to have such courses to solve. We just had a course now with a professor who just got a honorary doctorate here at the University of Tromsø. And actually, she is from Cambridge University. She is the leading of Sustainability Institute at Cambridge University. And she highlighted that what we are having now today as a courses, as academic work, as research even, is not enough to the challenge that we have. You can see, for example, this war between Russia and Ukraine. Due to this war, Europe, which is all the time try to say, okay, we have this Green Deal agenda, we have to be sustainable and so on. Big nation in Europe like Germany and other countries start to move toward using fossil fuel in order to get energy. Of course, this is against the things that they all the time they try to announce, they try to highlight. So it's just a small crisis, and now you put something different on your agenda, and you try to say, okay, we will not use a gas. You can find another way. So actually, this is to highlight, there is a need to teach our students, not only if you are focused, for example, in business, not only focusing on business, but teach them some component about environment, about maybe digital things, maybe how to use digital. We are living in digital world now. How to use programming in order to understand your business. How to use big data in order, for example, get the balance between the environment, the social, and the economic sector. I think this is the main message of the first and second day. Like, there is a need to establish such courses. And of course, establishing such courses, it's challenge, because, if you are geologist, for example, your approach to establish such course will be a bit different than person who work in business sector, or business who work in environmental sector, or in space science, for example. So the structure of how we can establish this course, will be for you. So actually, after today, after tomorrow, we each of you will start to think about a project. This project can be a course, can be a workshop, can be a seminar, it can be just idea, sketch an idea. And this project should be multidisciplinary project. So you are welcome. You can work 3 of you together in a group, if you would like. If you think that you can come with an idea that all of you 3 can work together, or you can work with a colleague of you. So for example, if next would like to say, okay, I think my course, it will be better if I go to someone in computer science to help me to develop my course, for example. So you can just establish this communication with this guy or with this lady, and then you will work together for almost a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, structure this course, try to explore the opportunity if you can teach this course or not. Maybe you will be able to teach this course, as I will give you some example now. And then the last day will be very short day, will be like 2 hours or so. And this will be sometime in October, first week of October, I think. And in this day, each of you will present like 10-minute, 15-minute presentation, the concept behind the course, how you will teach it, if you will teach it or not. And after that, we will go to discussion and try to conclude the session. So the main aim of the workshop is to increase the awareness, and then you will work on yourself, try to establish something by yourself, because the challenge that different courses, different branches of science need different approach, and then by the end we will discuss this. Based on the first workshop that ran in November last year, actually, we succeeded to run several, or the audience of this workshop succeeded to run several courses. So there is several courses that already established based on this workshop. So when we start the course, they said, okay, we didn't see any benefit out of it. But the last day, when they start to present their project, They came with idea, great idea, and they said, okay, we already get fund from our institute to run a pilot study to run this course or that course. Not only that, we succeeded to work a bit on the ideas that elaborated from the first workshop, and we succeed to submit a proposal to EU, to Erasmus Plus, and we just got an answer 2 weeks ago that there is a project or new fund from EU to the team called Inspiring the Mind. And Inspiring the Mind actually is a project that aim to find a mechanism to establish these interdisciplinary courses. And the mechanism is a bit, of course, different than what we have now in this workshop. So in this workshop, what you will do, you will go to your friend, another academic person who would like to teach with you something like interdisciplinary, and you will sit with he or she, and then you start to like establish the course by yourself with his help or her help, and that's all. For the Inspiring the Mind, actually we start different. We will start with the stakeholder, with the business sector, with the NGO, with society. So we will invite people from society, we will invite people from the business sector, and they will sit in different workshop in order to define the objective of the courses or the course that we will run. And after that, they will deliver this objective to academics, and the academics start to build the courses around this objective. And after that, they will go to a run of pilot phase teaching, and then they will correct the objective, they correct the teaching material, and will go to another run of the pilot phase. And after that, we will transfer all the courses material to our partner in Turkey. We have the Technical University of Istanbul as a partner with us. And of course, this is an open access resource. So if you think you will be happy to contribute to this mechanism, to this project, this Inspiring the Mind project, you are more than welcome. If you think, okay, you don't have enough time to contribute to the process, but maybe you are interested by the end to get the product and you apply it in your institute, in Edinburgh University, in other university, for example, you more than welcome. You can, everything is open access. You can get all the teaching material, all the method, everything will be open access. Also, I discussed a bit with our colleague, because actually this workshop ran in September, in August, in September, in October, and in November. So actually we have 4 slots, and this is why we don't have many people of you. We have only five of you who register in this round, because there is other 5, I think, register in the coming months, and maybe other in the November one. So we are very flexible, which means if you have a lecture now, if you have a meeting now, you just can leave, and we are recording. Once we finish the record, I will upload the record to our YouTube channel. You can just come and you can hear the things that you are missing. If, for example, the last day of the workshop don't fit you for some reason, you have teaching, you can't attend the last day, it's not a problem. We have another round in October, so you can, or November, so you can present your project in or with the people who will get it in November. So we are very flexible. So that's all from my side. Maybe I give the floor for you. The most important thing as well, we discussed briefly with the people from September, from August workshop, and most probably by the end of this round, the November one, which will end in December, I will send an email to all the people who joined the course since last year. I think this is something like maybe 50-50 academic and non-academic. And I will try to ask them if you are interested to convert the discussion that come out of this course or this workshop into a paper, a research paper. I get a positive feedback from the colleague who attended the August workshop. They are happy to do so, and I hope that you will happy also to do so. So we will try to summarize our discussion because it's recorded. So we can summarize it like in a research paper, and we try to publish it somehow. And it would be great if you can contribute to this process as well. Yeah, so that's all from my side. If you have any question before we start the presentation of today, just ask it. Yep. Yeah, so with the time, maybe tomorrow as well, you will get some ideas about your project. We can discuss these ideas a bit before you go to this this mentorship or this 3 weeks period. I will send this link to you, but I will post it now here in the chat. This is a teaching material for the course. You will find a lot of interviews. You will find different links to different people. So actually, we don't have enough time to go through everything, but I will try to pick important lecture or important things to just to highlight the need to design these multidisciplinary courses. And I will start with a short one. Unfortunately, once I share, I can't see you. So if you didn't hear the sound well, or the audio has a problem or so, you can just unmute yourself and ask, because I can't see you. Or maybe you can send like a comment on the chat. Yep. So actually, I would like to start with this.
Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to the Cloud Earth Eye program.
So the sound is okay? Okay, super. Yep.
I'm Lucy Stanfield Jenner, and I work on circular economy at the University of Edinburgh. And I'm here with Dave Gorman, who's Director for Social Responsibility and Sustainability. And welcome to the course. So Dave, can you tell me a few words about your role at the university and what the University of Edinburgh is doing around sustainability and climate change?
Sure, thanks, Lucy. So I'm Director for Social Responsibility and Sustainability at the university, as you said. My job and that of the team is to help the university deliver on its commitment to have a positive social impact and to be socially responsible and sustainable. So that covers quite a wide range of things, from how we manage our own direct emissions from our buildings and from our travel, through to what we buy and what we invest in, and also onto broader issues like human rights in the supply chain. So quite a wide range of things that we work on. We're committed to be a net zero university and to embed this across everything we do. So we want to make sure that we get to net zero and we stay there. We also want to make sure in what we teach that our students are getting full exposure to climate change issues and to global ethics and the meaning of sustainability. And we also want to make sure that the research that we do is focused on climate change and the solutions that we need to become sustainable. So that's what we do.
Fantastic. And can you say in a few words what sustainable development means to you?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of people will fall back on a definition from the 1980s from the Brundtland Commission. So you'll hear sustainability and sustainable development talked about as development that meets the needs of today's generations whilst allowing future generations to meet their needs. And that's fine as far as it goes. I think what we've learned to add down the years that I've been involved in this is, first of all, we need to think about nature, and we need to put our economy and our society within the natural limits that we know that the Earth has. So there's a limit to how much nitrogen we can put into water, for example. There's a limit on climate emissions, as we know. So we need to think about those natural limits. And the other thing I think we need to think about much more is fairness. So we need to think across generations and between generations. We know that climate change is a climate justice issue, with the people who haven't emitted much carbon the ones who are facing the biggest impacts. And we know it's a fairness issue through time, that my generation has used up too much of the natural capacity of the planet, and your generation is ones that are having to pick up the tab. And so for me, it's running our society and our economy within these well understood environmental limits and doing it in a way that's fair.
And building on that idea of using up our natural resources, can you tell me a bit about what you see the role of a circular economy playing in tackling climate change?
Yeah, absolutely. I think climate change is one of the most pressing issues we face, along with our loss of nature. And I think circular economy is one of the keys to unlock the puzzle. I really do. And the reason I say that is that much of the problems that we're causing in nature, you know, we're facing a nature crisis where nature is disappearing so quickly, and our ecosystems are unraveling before our eyes. Now, why is that? It's partly because we're emitting too much carbon, and we know that if we move to a circular economy, we can close the loops. We can reduce the amount of carbon that's being emitted by having more efficient processes and so on. But it's also because nature is disappearing because we're using too much land and we're not giving nature enough space. It's as simple as that. And why are we using too much land and not giving nature enough space? Because we have a linear economy. Because we produce something, we use it for a few days and then we throw it away. And we design things to be disposable, we design things to be hazardous. And I think if we can move to a circular economy, we'll be able to greatly reduce the amount of pressures on nature because we'll be reducing the amount of resources that we're using. And so I think circular economy is really, really important. And the other question I would add, which is relevant for the course, I think, is that my generation has spent this time trying to show that we've got a problem here. But now we need to move to solutions. We need to move to long-term sustainable solutions. And circular economy is a fantastic opportunity to do that. It's a brilliant opportunity for nature and for climate, but it's a brilliant economic opportunity as well. So I think circular economy is absolutely key to a sustainable, climate-friendly future.
And just finally, can you say anything about what you think the role of businesses and entrepreneurs is in helping to create that circular economy?
Absolutely. I'm just building on that last point. So if we think that circular economy is the key, then who's going to design that key? Well, it's going to be entrepreneurs and businesses. We need to move from talking about circular economy, which we have been doing, and that's great. We have greater awareness, to finding new business models and to design out hazardous materials and to design products that can be upgradable. You know, we need to move away from phones that you buy and recycle to phones that you just swap out the elements of the phone that you need. We need to move to new ways of doing fashion that aren't so environmentally destructive, and so on. And I really see that new business models, innovation, better design, and entrepreneurship are the key to that. So again, I think if circular economy is the key to a sustainable future, business and entrepreneurship is the key to circular economy.
Thanks very much, Dave. That's all my questions. So in this course, students will have an opportunity to learn more about the things that we've discussed today and the role that they can take in helping to create a circular and net zero economy. So thanks again, Dave, and I hope you enjoy the course.
Thank you.
Well, so actually I start this lecture things with Dave interview, simply because two of you are from Edinburgh University, so just to say welcome of you. So Lucy, actually the interviewer, is one of our team, and I don't know if you know her or not. She is working with Edinburgh Innovation, and actually I would like to highlight 2 points and maybe open the discussion between us from Dave's points. First of all, at the beginning, at the first part of his talk, he highlight the complexity of the situation. You know, we have a lot of parameters that is working together. In order to live a good life, you need good income, and good income, this means that you need more business, more economic growth. And to make economic growth in this linear structure, you need to consume more resources. And consuming more resources mean using landmass, creating CO2, you will affect the environment. So everything is very complex and everything is just close related. So this is the first thing that he said. And in the second part of his talk, he said that the business can help because we need to find a new business with circular economy model in order to reduce our consumption of the resources. So my question to you, regardless of the subject that you are teaching, do you think the teaching material that you have now, the courses that you have now, you teach at your university, do you think it's enough to meet this challenge? Are the students that graduate from our universities aware of this problem? I don't know who should answer this question, but maybe we can start with you next, because I think you are working you develop something related to space science, right?
So I'm currently, I've just submitted my dissertation. So I'm an LLM student in global environment and climate change.
Yes.
So my interest is more towards space and sustainable space operations. Like how can you develop a green fuel and how can you have a circular economy model up in space? Like how can you reuse the components? So Elon Musk's, excuse me, I'm just using an example. So if he says he's trying to create a reusable satellite, a reusable rocket, but that creates certain amount of emissions as well, which is not accounted. And the environmental footprints of the fuel which is used, hydrazine, for example. So it leads to a lot of soil corrosion and it has a lot of harmful and hazardous substances which are just being overlooked, but are pertinent to today's economy. So I don't think all of them really know the repercussions of it. And because we do not really have a regulatory authority or regulatory, like we don't have a mechanism like in law for the companies to abide by it. So we don't really have anything in place. So if we want to talk about the UNFCCC, like United Framework for Climate Change, it says that we include all the emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, but which is covered by the Montreal Protocol, the ozone. And the major satellite emissions which happen is to the ozone because they just burn up midair and they don't have enough fuel to come back. So how can we create a refueling mechanism up in space? I think space law is still fragmentary because it's been 5 decades since it's been, ratified by countries and every country wants to be the G up in space. It's like, I shoot so many satellites. You wouldn't believe by 2024, they predicted like 9 lakh satellites just in the low Earth orbit. So how can we actually overcome these problems? I don't think a lot of people are aware of. And now people are looking into, now the economy and the society is actually focusing to the environmental principles of it, which has been overlooked again. So I think it's quite nice to learn how we can incorporate circular economy and all of this. And we should actually educate and make people aware of these repercussions. So it might be really nice. Yeah, it might be really interesting to get a 5G network, like to bridge the digital divide, but it also has dual use technology like military capabilities. So do we really need it? A lot of issues like that. So I think it's not a lot of people know about it. So every time I talk to someone new, they're like, oh, is it? I thought space was just so cool. No, it isn't. Because there's no coming back from the pollution. On Earth, we still have we can come back, we can repair it. But from space, we don't. So, yeah.
So you think there is a problem in the education system that our students, we didn't teach them enough about different subjects?
No. Obviously Edinburgh, I'm going to talk about Edinburgh because I've been studying it. It's diverse. It's amazing because I think because of Edinburgh, I got to learn about space and, the variety of opportunities it has. It's not that. I think the course is too restrictive and it's not broad enough to include the practical problems of today's life. Like, I think it's more like, more like regulatory and what's already happened, like history and all of that. So I think it's supposed to be more broad and inclusive of the practical problems which are happening. Like, I know it's really important to understand like the basis of it, which is amazing. But I think we should also have a course like, what are the practical problems? We should go to the manufacturers, we should go to the companies who are actually launching the satellites to ask them, how does it work? What is that happening? So I think in my course, I'm thinking of going and interviewing people Like Glasgow is the second largest company for manufacturing satellites. So I want to go down and interview people and actually have their voices in the course. So people are aware of what it is, because yeah, I think that's important to be more inclusive and yeah, as broad as possible.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't know if Randall agree or disagree. Or he has different opinion, for example.
I'm sure he does have.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking about the course that we run, which is like I said, it focuses on students solving, global challenges. It has all the entrepreneurial stuff. They create, business model stuff like that. But it also has a intercultural element. So like I said, I work at the international office. So it's about, how can, so the teams are purposefully diverse, the different universities, different backgrounds, different degrees, things like that. And so it's all about how can you create diverse teams that can, hopefully solve these challenges in a kind of more sustainable or more, whatever, a better way. And I think that there's a lot of good to that, but I also think that there's still, what I see from the students seems to be still this kind of like this fallback to more kind of linear models and just like, okay, well, what do we need to solve this challenge? Oh, we need to develop an app, that's going to do this. And it's like, that's been done. I mean, I don't think we're really going to solve a lot of these problems by just creating more apps.
Yeah.
We need like different ways of thinking, and that's not blaming the students. I think that shows a little bit that they're aware. I think every student is aware of these problems, but I don't think they're necessarily aware of the best ways to actually go about addressing them.
So do you think they just after they start their project and then they start to suggest app or a business model, leaner business model, this is because they didn't think enough outside the box, or they don't have the enough teaching,
I
the
think
enough
that there's
knowledge?
yeah, I'm not gonna blame the students totally. I'm gonna blame us as well. I think there's more that we could do in our course, and this is why I, wanted to take part in this training, is to see what other people are doing, maybe get some tips, things like that, because I think I'm kind of already kind of thinking about developments that we could do to the course. And I think, for instance, I mean, one thing that's our fault is that we try to get them to address these challenges. It's all about sustainability. It's about the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. But then when we give them, what we give them at the end as a kind of project is like, okay, come up with a business model. And I think the business model that we encourage them to make is an old business model. I think that we need to do more there to say, this is how you understand a business model, but here's a lot of these new, innovative ways that people are addressing this. Here's different like business models for, social enterprises, or like cooperatives, or things like that, where I think we're just not actually giving them enough enough of an idea of what the range is out there, where they could actually address these things in a different way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you are aware with our basic course or not, because I know Sophie, our project manager at Edinburgh University, she was in contact with several academics there and different institutes there. So I don't know if maybe she contacted you or not, but in general, our basic course, this is oriented to the students, is a multidisciplinary courses. And we have 5 modules in this course. And these five modules actually cover somehow, according to our thinking, most of the things that you need in order to come with a circular economy model. So actually we start like with the basic ecosystem, like, you know, if you would like to establish your company in UK, for example, what you should do, from where you should start, things like this. And then we start with how to be innovative, how to be or the challenge related to sustainability goals, and how to make your business model somehow fit within this planetary boundary and to be sustainable and so on. Also, we have the component of the economy, how you can build your business in order to get benefit out of it, financial benefit. It's not good idea to start a good business and this business is work in the framework of this 17 sustainability goal and so on, and then you didn't get any financial benefit out of it. So what is the point? And also we have a model of using big data, how you can use big data in order to analyze the system around your business. Can you use big data somehow in order to understand the challenge in your field or not? But actually we are going through these 5 modules. It's 5 modules with a good way. We will start the first module with a question. So the homework in the first module, we ask each student to come with a business idea, just any business idea, the dream of you. So I would like to have a mechanical workshop to fix car, for example, or something like this. Just come with a business idea. And then through the 5 modules, and this is through like 8 weeks, you give sort of more information, more knowledge about sustainability, about green things, about circular economy, and so on. And at each module, we ask you, try to develop your business idea, try to develop your business model that you start from the beginning at the first week. Try to develop it somehow in order to fit with the knowledge that you get from this module. So at the beginning, you try to fix it somehow to be, okay, more circular economy. Then try to fix it somehow to be more green, more sustainable, more benefit for you. And then at the last week, we try to ask each student to present the model. And you can imagine, for example, one of our students, he start the module in October or in September, and he has already the idea in his brain, try to think about it. And in December, he established his company, already established his company. And we are in contact with him now. His company is almost 1 year old, something like this, 8 months old. And he started to get benefit. And his company is working with circular economy. He use a computer component, he collect computer component from different sources, and then he recycle it and sell the component that is working and try to resell the component that is not working to manufacture or other firms that can fix it. And he get benefit. He told me that in the first 4 months, he get 25,000 euro. Just in 4 months, just start. So this is our model. This is our model in the basic course. Like, you know, we try to challenge the students, but we didn't give them like, you have to go with this project. No, just bring your project, bring your idea, and then with us, we try to give you the knowledge. And with the time, you try to fix your idea according to the knowledge, according to the challenge that you have. And by the end of the course, you start to compare the final product to the one that you started 2 months ago to see if it's will work or not. So maybe we can go to Mr. Rifai, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think because I am geologist as well, like Mr.
Yeah,
Rifai, and I came from the system. I am Egyptian as well. So maybe I can give it the floor for you just to see if the system in Egypt is enough to design this multidisciplinary courses or not, or did you see anything in Egypt or in Arabic country or North Africa or African countries that has this component, this multidisciplinary courses, this concept that the students that will go out from geology department should start his business or her business by himself. And this business should be within environmental frames that make our environment good enough.
Yeah, actually, even our student in Egypt have some training and some workshops, but still a gap between university courses and the field work uh, and field work. So you as you know, when the some technical or some an academic person come to teach or to make any event in our university, you can see the student pay attention to every word. You can say they more believes in his knowledge, even they can learn this knowledge or this informations in their class, but still the believes in the technical person more than their teachers.
Yeah.
But many examples here of students when they finish their university time, they already start their goals or their projects, especially in mining. As you know, in Egypt, there are many resources you can start in it if you work in your plan and also you have some financial support. Okay, so about me, I have a small project in my mind, but you know, money is the problem every time. Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay.
So actually, I would like to take a point here, or actually many points here. One of them, Rifai said that some students who have ideas or so, they go and they start to work in the mining sector. But actually, this will send us to a problem, which is mining sector, you are actually consuming resources. I think if I speak about the gold, because in Egypt, most of the people are working in the mining sector of the gold, but you are consuming resources, right? So actually you are not friendly to our environment, right? Also, he highlight the point that sometimes academic, when they are teaching a course, when they are designing a course, they designing the course from their point of view. So I will design a course from my point of view, from my point of research, right? But maybe my point of view is different than the business sector, different than society. So we need to include in our designing mechanism of a course the final product. Who will use our students? So we try to teach. This is our product. The student is our product. So who will use it? The business sector, for example, or he will work at hospital, or he work at a government institute. So actually, the stakeholder, the business sector or the government institute, they have some standard, and we didn't include this standard, or we didn't include their point of view in our courses. And this is why he said that when there is an invited lecture from business sector to the university, the student give this lecture sort of attention, because they know that this guy who gives them the lecture is coming from the business sector. He knows the need of the job market, not the academic people. So he highlights somehow like I think a gap between us in academia and the society in general, like in the need of the business, the need of society in general. Of course, not all of us. I know that I'm aware there is some professors at our universities. Maybe in Edinburgh, you are doing very well in these things, like you are going to the business or try to close the gap somehow. But in some other nation, like in African nation, in Europe, even in Europe, we have this problem, we have this gap. And the best example of this gap, actually, this war between Russia and Ukraine. This war indicates something, that people who are leading in both countries, in Russia and Ukraine, they didn't care. They don't have this vision for the next future. Dave, in his interview, he highlighted the sustainable development, that we need to make a process, consume what we have now, but leave some resources for the future. What happened in this conflict between Russia and Ukraine indicate, of course, there is a political point out of it, but we, or they, as a leaders for countries, they should put this political point, this conflict point aside. Instead, they should find the common ground in order to build collaboration in a state of conflict. And this indicates that we, as academic sector, fail to teach this leader, because this leader 10 years ago, 20 years ago, was a student at university, or were a student at university. We fail to teach them how to live in a peace way, how to protect your environment, how to collaborate with others, not to go in conflict with them. This is a clear example of failing of academic sector within Europe, if we consider Russia and Ukraine somehow in Europe. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but yeah. Yeah, so Rifa is agree, great. At least one. Maybe Randall disagree with me, right? Or so. Yeah. So I don't know if you would like to have like a 5-minute break. We have actually, the next is an interview by a professor here, Professor Sabina, and I think the interview will last for 50 minutes, almost 1 hour. So would you like to have like a 5-minute break, some coffee or so, and then we can come back? Okay, super. So we can come like 12:30 for UK time and 1:30 Egyptian time. Yep. Yeah. So Randall, you are working closely with Edinburgh Innovation.
So not that closely. We have worked with them in the past, because one of the things that our students do in our program is at the end they do like a pitch for their solution, their business, and we've actually had a few of the Edinburgh Innovations people there as like judges for the pitch competition. But that's about it. I have actually been, I think it was Sophie you mentioned, she's gotten in touch to see if we could meet up and talk about some things, but we haven't been able to do that yet.
Yeah.
I would personally like to do it. Hopefully we can maybe benefit both programs.
Yep. So you are based in business school?
No, I'm in Edinburgh Global, so it's the international office.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the office, that sends people out on exchanges and stuff like that. But I'm on a different team where we do things like this program. We do like virtual exchange, stuff like that.
Okay, for me it's a bit strange to have like this exchange or international office to work with such thing related to business and competition and these things.
Yeah, so it's not our specialty, but like I said, it's the other part of the program is the intercultural competence, which is where we come in. So but this this program is very similar to your project in that it was an Erasmus project. We have other partners around Europe. So the idea was that we had other people who would bring the entrepreneurship expertise, and we would bring the the
international
intercultural
component. We are since you are working with this international office of Edinburgh, actually we are aiming to sign sort of Erasmus agreement between all the partners in our consortium, the Cloud Earth Eye consortium. We now in process to sign an agreement between Tromsø and Technical University of Varna, Tromsø and the University of Applied Earth Science in Bergenland. But hopefully next month or months after, we would start to sign something between us and Edinburgh as well. Yep. So I don't know if Rifai and Nex is here, or so should we start the next part?
Okay, Dr. Sam.
Yep. So maybe we can start the next part. It's again a recorded video. So please, if the sound is not clear or anything, just send me a message on the chat. So first of all, I would like to thank all of our audience to attending again this workshop. And during the previous interviews, we have presented the point of view of business sector on how this cross-disciplinary courses is important for them. Now we have Professor Sabina Stramesh Blankes. Sabina is a professor at the Arctic University of Norway. And actually, she will introduce herself, but I would like to say a few words about her. So Sabina is professor of economic geology, and she works a lot with business and mining sector. So I think she is one of the best professor here at Tromsø University that can reflect on the experience of this collaboration between academia and business. So I think this is very, very short introduction about you, Sabina. So maybe you can introduce yourself by better way.
Yeah, thank you, Tamer. Yes, as you said, my name is Sabina Stermic-Palinkas. I'm associate professor here at University of Tromsø, the Arctic University of Norway in ore geology, mineral resources, and my background is in geochemistry. I joined University of Tromsø in September 2015, so I have been here for a little bit longer than 6 years. And I have a master and a PhD degrees from University of Zagreb in Croatia. After I got my PhD in Croatia, I started there my position as assistant professor in field of geochemistry. And after that, I moved to New Zealand, where I was working for 2 years in the field of epithermal gold and silver deposits. After 2 years in New Zealand, I applied for position in Tromsø, and then I moved here.
Okay, so from this nice introduction, I think you have two types of experience. First of all, you moved from country to another to Tromsø, and also I think your background is geochemistry, and now you are going a bit toward economic geology or ore geology. So you have this sort of two legs, one in geochemistry and one in economics. This is perfect. So I would like to ask you about your connection with the industry. So are you working with the industry? Are you have some research project there?
Yeah, so first maybe I can start. When I came to Tromsø, I inherited a project and a PhD student working in that project. So the project was funded through Tromsø Kommune. but it was supported by Sintef, and also, though it was not funded through Nusir As, the mining company, the field of activity or the area of activity was related with the historical place of mining for copper in Finnmark at that time. So this was kind of my first contact with industry in Norway. Then I was quite lucky when I came to Norway that at that time there was an active cluster, Mineral Klynge Norge, which was a cluster of industrial partners, public authorities, and academia. And they were active in the field of the whole value chain in mining sector. So that was, again, very strong connection that I got with industry in Norway. And through Mineral Klynge Norge, I got, in fact, my first research money in Norway. I got a funding. It was approximately 200,000 kronas for research on, and it was really fundamental research on origin of volcanogenic massive sulfide deposits in northern Norway, and the funding was provided 50% through Mineral Klynge Norge, 50% through LNS, the mining company. So basically this first amount of money really was real seed money, because when I started that work in VMS deposits in northern Norway, that was a really excellent link to extend my research network in Norway. So then I got in contact with researchers from University of Bergen. They had long-lasting expertise in both in VMS deposits on land, but also they are developing a kind of completely new research field on recent hydrothermal activity along mid-ocean ridges. So this first money that I got from industry really triggered something bigger. And now we have another project at University of Tromsø. So this is kind of extension, or let's say extension of what we have started in 2016 with this first seed money. I have a project funded by Equinor Academia of Thale. So Equinor, it's another, as you know, it's the largest oil and gas company in Norway, but also they are very devoted to fundamental research. So they are supporting several research projects per year at different universities. And I was lucky to get one among of these quite prestige research projects. So again, though it's funded through industrial money, again, we are talking about fundamental research.
Okay. I think this is very interesting. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is very interesting, because you say you started with 200,000 krona from business sector, but it's funded fundamental research. So this means that business sector are interesting to give money for academia for fundamental, not for something for themselves.
It seems so, yeah. It seems so. And through this first seed money, we also it was enough to educate 3 master students. So in fact 4. So one was working in Sulitelma, and 2 others were working in Upper Allochthon of Caledonites. So students were combining, and probably that will bring us to another kind of more interdisciplinary approach. But then from this amount of money, we supported the fieldwork and analytical work of 3 master students working as a team. So one of them was working on structural geology, because all mineral deposits in northern Norway, they are strongly affected by deformations and metamorphism. So it was important to have structural geologists in the team. Then another student was working on geochemistry, on evolution of fluids and so on. So it was complete ore forming oriented thesis. And then the 3rd student, she was working on environmental aspects of that particular mineralization. So we combine, let's say, hard rock geology, geochemistry, and environmental geology, geochemistry in the same project.
Yep, this is very, very interesting actually. But you said that this fund you are using for PhD master student. So this means that you involve also master students in this research project. Do you involve bachelor students somehow to some extent?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, but I had one student who was working on so-called project in geology, because here in Tromsø, as you know, we don't have a classical, let's say, small diploma thesis or something that at some other universities in Europe exist.
Mm.
So for instance, again, when I'm comparing with my experience with teaching in Croatia, there at the end of bachelor thesis, students always have a very small project, but it's really kind of mini research project where they have to put some effort. Basically, they are working over one semester on very, very small research
See this
project.
also, yeah.
And they have to defend that project in front of committee. So it looks really like a defense of master thesis. But it's just that the volume of amount of work, it's of course much smaller, and the topics are less demanding because of course students at that level, they don't have enough skills to do some really, really deep science. But still they're exposed to real research. They're spending some time in lab or in the field, depending on, of course, on their projects and on their supervisors. Yeah, so here we have opportunity to do something similar, but it's very individual, and some of students at the third year, they can take that so-called project in geology. It's a 10 credit course. And basically in this same, when I'm still talking about this first seed money that I got through Mineral Klingenorge and LNS, I had one bachelor student. She got a bachelor degree with us. After that, she moved to NTNU, where she completed her master thesis. And now we are collaborating again because she got the job in Skaland graphite mine on Senja. So now we are again in contact, and last week she was invited to present her company on UIT Raw Material University Days. So yeah, this is one of examples where we can include some of bachelor students also in our research.
Yeah, this is good. Actually, if you allow me to fish a few words from your words, you said two things that I would like to reflect a bit on that. First of all, you said that this 200,000 krona, the first seed, is trigger first sort of collaboration between you and Bergen University, and then from this collaboration, academic collaboration, this trigger another funding for other activities, again from business sector. And you said that one of your bachelor students, this is the second point, one of your bachelor students who tried to involve in this process, she succeeded to go to master or maybe PhD in
No, it was master.
master in another university related to economic geology, and now she is involved in the business sector itself, and she is working now with the same company or with other company. So this means that such type of collaboration between business and academic first can give opportunity for us as a researcher to connect between researchers themselves, and also give opportunity for students to explore their future. So do you think you can a bit elaborate about this point?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you summarize here. So I think that it's very, very important for students to be exposed to industry during their study years. This is the one of way to show them where they can find their jobs. I mean, we should be honest that only a very, very small percentage of our students will end up in academia or in really fundamental research. But we have to prepare our students for real life kind of linked with industry. And not only industry, also it would be probably very good to expose students to some to see how public authority works. Like for instance, a mineral directorate or a Norwegian petroleum directorate. So all these governmental institutions that also have both research, but they are probably asking for some additional skills from our students that we usually don't provide, like understanding of legislation, working with a lot of paperwork and things like that.
So maybe I again interrupt you about this point. Do you have experience like one student came to you and say, okay, I have applied for this job at this governmental issue or governmental body, and unfortunately I didn't get it because my experience in this topic is not high enough?
No,
So
I
do you,
don't.
okay.
Yeah, maybe there are cases like that, but usually when you're interviewed for job, probably the potential employer will not really exactly tell you, we haven't offered your position because of this particular reason. So
Okay, but this
no,
reason
yeah.
may be under the table.
Yeah, or
Okay.
yes, or at least we will make our students more ready for the market if we provide them with some soft skills that we
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But you didn't comment on the second point about this collaboration between research group and research group, academia based on this business interaction or business collaboration. Yeah.
So yes, I mean, this first amount of money was not really, it's not a lot for, at least not from the region perspective, but it was really enough to show that there are some activities. Also, it kind of put on the paper what are my commitments, what kind of research I want to conduct. So for me as a newcomer to this country, it was extremely important to start to establish my own research. So I'm extremely grateful for that first project. I mean, for all of them, but that one, it's very special.
Yeah. But your experience with the mining sector or business sector started from 2015, or you had something
16.
before? 16.
So when I was in New Zealand, there that project was also kind of supported through industry. So that project, so I was a researcher at University of Auckland, and the project was funded mostly through Ministry of Employment and Economy, something like that. But also it was supported by a few mining companies.
Okay.
So I had, let's say, on daily basis, I had contact with a gold company, Newmont Gold Company in Waihi, on North Island of New Zealand. But that I don't see that as my own project because I was hired to the project. So I had a really good connection with industrial and support in terms that I had access to samples and so on. But the funding was gained by my PI before I came to New Zealand.
Okay. Okay. But you at least have something before.
Yeah. And then before that, for almost 15 years, I was working in Southern Europe in the area of ex-Yugoslavia. So though I'm from Croatia, in Croatia, we don't have any active mine of metals. So I did all my thesis were all my work was in Bosnia, in Macedonia, Kosovo, Montenegro, and kind of the rest of ex-Yugoslavia space. And there we had, I mean, mining sector there before 2015 was kind of suffering from, still we were after war and the mining sector was not really strong. So now what I can see, especially in Serbia, there are many international companies, this mining sector, it's much more alive than it was before I left that area. But always we had a new kind of support, not in terms of funding, because at that moment companies were not really able to provide money, but they were always very supportive in terms that we could access their sites. They were providing us with historical data, giving us support in terms of if you need a local geological support, in terms that some people follow you in the field, or even in terms of vehicles and so on. And then, because I'm still active in that area, now we are still, I mean, we have been before COVID times, and I hope that we will continue to do same thing. I'm still organizing the field trip in or geology course for Norwegian students in Macedonia. Sorry, I have my
No, bro.
phone.
Yep.
I will just mute and I will turn my phone
Yeah,
off.
please. Yeah, please go.
Sorry for this.
No problem, Sabina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So yeah. So every year I'm bringing Norwegian students to Macedonia,
Mhm.
and that field activity, it's organized like a 5-day field work. And in those 5 days, we are visiting 5 different ore deposits, and 4 of them are active sites.
Yep.
So basically, we are supported by 4 different mining companies because they are providing us with all field equipment, field vehicles, their geological team, their safety team, and so on.
Yeah. Actually, I have a comment on this point. Maybe the audience don't know that I am also geologist. Maybe not or economic geologist, but I am petrologist, and I would love to join this field trip as a student with you.
Yes.
Yep.
I
So
hope that
consider me in future as a student.
yeah, I think that you will find that area very interesting, and yeah,
Yep.
we should discuss that. So hopefully next May we will be able again to travel as before COVID.
Yeah.
So you are more
So
than
we
welcome
can do
to.
something. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yeah.
Thanks, Sabine. You have highlighted a lot of points, and you showed that there is sort of great integration between mining sector and what you are doing. So do you think this integration also, even you have highlighted that there is sort of integration between what we are doing in academia and governmental institutes. Do you think this integration can be set up in other topics, research topic like in chemistry, in biology, in
Yeah, I think so, especially in chemistry. If you have factories or companies dealing in, in production of any kind of chemicals, I don't see a big difference between mining sector and chemical sector. For biology, I don't know, probably yes, but for instance, biotechnology or similar fields where we have both science and technology together, I think that it's that all kind of fields like that could do similar things like in mining sector.
Okay, this is great.
So yeah, you can expose students to both the industrial experience, but also to some kind of public sector experience.
Yep. I have something to discuss with you, maybe not direct related to this, because you have reflect on this relation between business or mining sector and the academic sector. I would like you to reflect a bit about within the academic sector itself, within the different topic. Like, for example, I am aware that you are working now with a project between chemistry department and geology department. So do you think this is a good idea to establish sort of courses, collaboration program between different institute, different faculties within the same university, or maybe between different universities?
Yeah, I think that this is really essential, especially, I mean, me as geochemist, of course, I see this kind of clear link between chemistry and geology, but also biology, it's important component. Here, I mean, environmental issues are clear, and we have environmental issues that can be related with mining activity, but it can be related with any kind of activities that humans are doing. Also, there are sometimes issues just with natural contamination. So, for instance, if you have a large ultramafic body, that ultramafic body, it's a natural source of contamination once when it's exposed to weathering conditions. So this integration of chemistry, biology, and geology, I think that is essential if we want to establish really a solid environmental related study program in Tromsø. And then,
Yep.
of course, on top of that, some other disciplines can come, like, for instance, development of new technologies, or Department of Physics also with providing some analytical methods. So, for instance, also we are collaborating with Department of Physics. So far, we have together, we are co-sharing a Raman spectrometer, because this is an instrument that has application in both fields, in physics and in geology, in fact, in chemistry as well. But so far, we kind of co-own the instrument together with Department of Physics. But also we are trying to start to work with colleagues from Department of Physics in development of microscopy facilities that they need for my fluid inclusion lab, because they have a really strong expertise in nanotechnology, nanomicroscopy, and some of their of things that they are doing could be kind of integrated in the microscopy lab that I need.
Yep. And also maybe I can just add a body point for that. You just said 5 minutes ago, maybe students, when they start to be hired at governmental institute ask or try to find someone who has this legal background. So maybe as well adding other topics like using law in environmental issue, for example, or maybe some skills in business sector. Maybe our students, I am aware that at Tromsø University, 2 years ago, there is a group, two master student or 3 master student, they was able to establish their company, something like this. So maybe our students can be a future businessman or businesswoman. So we need to give them a bit of skills.
Yes. So to both of those things. So what you said about this legislation part, just yesterday we had our first meeting. Matthias Forvik, our head of department, and we had the first meeting with the Norwegian Center for Law of Sea. Because, as I said, we have this active project on recent hydrothermal activity along mid-ocean ridges, and probably you're aware that now Norwegian government is trying to develop new industrial opportunities for deep sea mining. And this is completely new field everywhere in the world, so we need to know more about the systems as they are, and if mining happen, how that will affect the environment. Also, there is a strong need for some technologies that we still don't have, because mining at 3 kilometers water column, it's not same as mining on land.
Yes.
Also, I know that Norway has this long-lasting expertise in oil and gas sector, but to extract metals or minerals, it's not same as extract liquids. So there are many challenges there. But at the same time, we have a center. It's a research center it's a national research center based in Tromsø. They are dealing with law of sea. So we got in contact with them, and we started to discuss about if there are any opportunity to collaborate. Because basically, when they were presenting what they are doing, and when we are presenting what we are doing, we are using same keywords like, environment, hydrothermal activity, continental shelf, all these things. And then suddenly when we start to talk about details, we are talking with completely 2 different languages, and we cannot really get the point on what they are doing, and they cannot really understand what we are doing.
Yes.
So I can imagine that for our students, it's even more challenging. So it would be great to have more multidisciplinary courses. We don't have any ambitions to teach legislation courses in geology. I mean, there is no sense to convert geologists to lawyers. But if we can provide our students with the suite of skills that they can understand when they are reading, laws, that they know how to do, how to use terminology, and that we at least start to speak with some common dialect, let's say.
Actually, again, I would like to steal from you some words. So I will steal just one word you said now. Maybe our audience misunderstand the context of all the workshop, that we would like to make a course that 50% geology, 50% law, or 50% environmental science, 50% other topic. But this is not what we aiming for. We are aiming for make a course mainly in geology, but maybe we can add just one layer at the top of the course that include other topic. So not 100% mixing between 2 topics or 3 topics, but fundamental things in addition to other skills that students need in their life.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, on top of this, of course, legislation, it's one of topic, but then really a development of new business, as you said. So there are a lot of potential for junior geologists to establish their own companies, but honestly, I don't know how to do that, especially not in Norway. So again, we don't aim to educate students as that they become economists, but if they know some basic things, how to where to go if they want to establish their company, what they have to take care, what is the risk, how to do some kind of preliminary risk assessment, because probably it's not a big problem to establish a company, but yeah, how to start to work. So all these things, yeah, it would be brilliant to have. I would like to take a course like that.
Yep, this is good. Maybe I reflect on that. Actually, parallel to our course or our workshop, we have another course related to Cloud Earth Eye project. This should start this week or next week, something like this. And this is sort of introduction course for exactly what you are saying. So in this course, it's oriented for students, master PhD students, and they will give or they will have some topics, just basic information about using big data, environmental science, how to establish your business, the challenge that you will face when you are establishing your business. Of course, this is again like very introduction course, but it will be attached with other courses that will give a bit deeper knowledge. So
Sounds brilliant. Yes.
we are trying to do something, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds great.
Yep. So I have 3 questions more related to this topic. One of them, the opportunities that you are seeing if we succeeded as academic sector to create such courses. These 2 type of courses that is between the different academic field, and this courses that is between academia and business and society from other side. Do you think this is can be make a movement in our society? Is it positive movement or negative movement?
I think that it should trigger positive movements in the Norwegian society, at least, because I mean, Norway hosts really a lot of resources in terms of metals. But as you know, mining in this country, it's quite behind what we see in Sweden or Finland. And one probably of the main reason it was that all resources, I mean, geological resources were moved to oil and gas sector. And now when oil and gas sector are not anymore so important, or even when they have very, very negative connotation in society, and if we really want to see green shift, it's obvious that we need metals to do that. And one of commodities that we know that we have in huge amounts in Norway, it's for instance copper, and copper is essential for green shift. Then this kind of courses that will really provide young people, new generation of geologists or new generation of professionals in general to start to work in mining sector in Norway, I think that it's really essential. Because, I mean, we should be really honest to say that at the moment, we don't have enough educated people in Norway to really start mining sector almost from zero.
Yep. Actually, not in Norway. I think this is a worldwide problem, at least pan-European problem.
Exactly.
Yep.
But then in Norway, it's really emphasized even more, because again, when we compare what is happening in Finland and Sweden, then Norway is definitely behind.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I am very happy to hear that. I think the interviewer should not reflect on his opinion, but I am happy
Okay,
to,
yeah,
to
good.
yes. I would like to ask you more two questions. One of them related to academics. So I meet some academics here and there in Austria, in England, and so on. And they show sort of some resistance to this movement. And sometimes they say, okay, but we have to teach only fundamental issues, fundamental topics. Do you think this is correct? Do you think what we should do in order to try to reach a point in between?
Yeah, so I think that definitely we should keep enough fundamental courses at our university, and we shouldn't give up on fundamental research at the university. This really is something that must be, otherwise we will just turn to some kind of level of college. But we should also give enough courses or enough opportunities to our students that they can select if they want to go more to industry. Because as I said at some point, we are aware that only small percentage of our students will end up in academia or at PhD studies, but majority of students, they will be hired by industry. So we should kind of give opportunities for both and not make any differences saying this is better than another one, because it must be really like a cycle, or it's a one thing. So if we don't educate, I mean, this is at least my personal opinion. So educating people just for academia without any application, I mean, I really don't see a point. Then what society will get out of that?
Yes, I agree.
And then again, if you are going really too much in application without providing solid fundamental opportunities for students, then again, we will lose our best students. So, I mean, best students, usually very ambitious students, they want to continue with
academia.
Yeah, with academia,
Yep.
or at least they want to go to PhD levels or postdoc levels and so on. So I think that it's important to have both type of courses, so that we keep our fundamental research and that we really keep publishing, that we show to our students that we are very productive in fundamental research. This is also important, again, if we are thinking about funding, that we can attract money, not only from industry, but that we are attractive for a funding agency like Norwegian Research Council or European Research Council and so on. But at the same time that we are providing opportunity for students to develop some of those skills that are not offered in regular courses, like in, I don't know, geology, geochemistry, or whatever.
Okay, yeah. So I think, again, maybe I can highlight this point from your word, that we're not speaking here to replace the fundamental courses.
Exactly.
For example, if we say geology department at this university is offering 10 courses, fundamental courses, okay, maybe the department can offer 14 courses, 10 fundamental and 4 that include this mixing component between different topic or different subjects. So this is not to replace the fundamental one, but this to add new courses to give students skills for their future.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And also maybe I can highlight for you and highlight for our audience, this is an interesting point for this workshop. So this workshop is will continue for almost a month. Today we are in the first day or second day according to the time of the presentation. And from tomorrow, the audience will be divided into small groups, multidisciplinary group, with one task. They try to come with a suggestion of a course that can be taught by this group. So maybe the group, we can see someone from law school, someone from geology, someone from chemistry, and they can come with a course that connects these 3 subjects together. So hopefully at the last day of the workshop to see something from this monitoring period or this discussion. Something just to get reflection from you about it. Do you think that, or from your experience, the business sector or the mining industry sector, they provide university with sort of scholarship, mentoring program, hosting students for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just for training. If there is something existing like this.
Yes. So just this year, Department of Geoscience got a project which is supported through DICU, I think. Yeah, I think that it's from DICU. And basically that it's a pilot project where we are able to send our bachelor students to different industrial partners. I mean, at the moment, I think they're only industrial partners, but there is ambitions also to extend it to more to public sector. So during this, it's the name of the project. It's Geo Intern, and it's led by Iver Martensen. I should, yeah, we should check. Yeah. So Iver is it's a leader of this project, and he established really great network of industrial partners that are happy to receive our students. So during this course, I'm not sure is it 5 or 10 credit course, probably it's a 5 credit course. So our students are sent twice in semester to industrial partners where they are exposed to different activities. I mean, depending on where they are going. So for instance, for our students, I know that he went to Skaland graphite mine, where he was logging cores, he was working with their geological team. So basically he was doing exactly same things as he would do if he will be hired as a junior geologist in that company. So he started with some basic, very small task, and then he was provided with more complex during this period of time. In meanwhile, he was also preparing some reports and things like that. So we see this this project as very, very important and really good way to expose our students to
the market. Yeah.
So this is for bachelor students at the moment, but probably something similar can be created for master students as well.
Yep. Yeah. And again, this is a good, I think in general, this is sort of good opportunity for our students if they are going for industry sector for a couple of weeks to train. This will give them skills, but also I think they give them connection. Exactly. So this most probably those students who are working with this mining company, after they finish their degree, some of them will work as a fast job, as permanent job with this company. Exactly. Because so they have some connection somehow. Yeah, networking, it's really, really important. Exactly. So we are not teaching just fundamental, but we try to open the door for them for their future. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And also, maybe I can please go ahead. So this is something that it's not related with our university, but in Norway there is a program that is supported through a Norsk Bergindustri, where every year they're selecting 2 to 3 students, master students with so finished master students for internship program that lasts 2 to 3 years, where those students, or I mean the fresh master master of geology are sent to 2 to 3 mining companies. Okay. And this year we are very proud that 2 out of 3 students are Tromsø students. So one of them was working on another EIT raw material project, Minex Target. He got his master's degree through that project. Another student was working in structural geology, and then the third student, it's a student from Trondheim. She has a master in mineral processing. Okay. Yeah. And they are sent to Nussir, to Sibelco, and to Rana Gruber in Mo i Rana. Okay. So I can see there is a very good connection between academia in this context and business and mining sector. Yes. Yeah. But I think there is persons behind this. There is motivation behind this, and I think you are one of them. One of these persons who are try to motivate, who try to push this connection So
Yeah.
we need someone to drive.
Yeah, but I must say that I have amazing support at our department. So
Yes, yes.
it's
So
always
it's
a
it's
team.
it's a teamwork. I
Yes,
completely agree.
yes,
But
yes.
at least there is motivation. There is someone who try to push.
Yeah, but with a good support, it's easy to be motivated. So
Of course, I completely agree. Yes. So maybe the last point about the challenge, because now from your talk, or from this interview, you have highlighted a lot of opportunities, and I have to say that before I start the interview, my view for the opportunity was like this, but after the interview, I think we have a lot.
okay, good.
Yeah. So, but I think there is a lot of challenge, right?
Yeah, there are challenges, but I mean, there are challenges bring some other opportunities. So yes, there are challenges. Of course, I mean, one of challenges, again, when I'm comparing our connection with industry here in Northern Norway, with what our colleagues in Northern Finland or our colleagues in Northern Sweden have through their connections with mining companies. In those countries, of course, the mining sector in Norway looks quite small.
Mm.
So this is one of things. But then again, we have some opportunities that they don't have. So for instance, we have this opportunity to work in places where recent mineral deposits are formed. So yeah, it's difficult. So yeah, it's difficult to say if they are in better situation than us. So yeah, there are some challenges and some opportunities. What else is challenge? Of course, nowadays we are seeing, but this is a challenge. It's a global challenge that we don't have. That we have this declining number of students going to natural sciences, including geology, and that especially in Norway, students see geology as equivalent for oil and gas sector. So this
Mm.
is something that we should really at the national level highlight, that geology or geoscience, it's much more than oil and gas, that also include mineral resources, but even it's much broader than that, and that proper environmental study cannot be conducted without knowledge of geology, and geology it's everywhere around us. So yeah,
Mm.
so this is one of challenges, and this is really very big challenge, or at least it was that in last 2 years we had a very small number of new bachelor students. But again, it was not problem of Tromsø, it was really problem everywhere in Norway. But also what I have learned from my colleagues abroad when we were advertising EIT Raw Material University Days that we had last week here in Tromsø, then from several universities, basically I got a kind of big no from them. They said we cannot advertise your event
Why?
because we are fighting for every single student to stay at our university. So that gives me impression that no matter where we are in Europe, we all more or less face the same challenge, that there are not enough students willing to go to geology.
Mm.
And then again, if job market in mineral sector would be more open, I mean bigger, then of course young people will see their opportunities, and then they will naturally go to that kind of study program. So it's a cycle. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. But do you see there is some challenge to create within academia such cross disciplinary courses, or these courses from academia to business? So just the creating the courses itself.
Yeah, that again depends on the network. So when I came to Tromsø, I was really lucky that at that moment we had something that, so it was a project funded through Interreg, EU project that was supporting something that we called Nordic Mining School. And Nordic Mining School was a group of 3 universities with an aim to exchange teachers and students. And those 3 universities were University of Tromsø, University of Technology in Luleå, and Oulu University in Finland. And through that project, I met people from those another two universities. And they were very, very open for interdisciplinary research. So we aimed several times to get funding. Unfortunately, we never succeed, but we really managed to make a very, very strong network where we are still collaborating, we're exchanging students, though we don't have any formal project, and also we're exchanging teachers. So it's really kind of on the level, I mean, especially nowadays with online teaching, even we don't need financial resources to do things like that. So in meanwhile, we extended that network, and at the moment, I would say that we collaborate really well with people from University of Luleå, University of Technology in Luleå, in terms of both like a hard rock geology, structural geology, geochemistry, but also environmental geochemistry. Then with people from Oulu, we have collaboration. They have very strong expertise in mineral processing. So this is something that, for instance, we don't have in Tromsø, but it's again good to provide to our students that they understand how their material, if they are, for instance, in a mine, what will happen with material that will be exploited from that mine. And then with people from University of Lapland, they have a program. So it's completely another discipline. So they are not even in natural science. So they are in social science, and they are dealing with social aspects of mining, including, for instance, how to get social license to operate in the Arctic area, which is very sensitive topic. And then on top of that, we extended also collaboration with colleagues from Iceland. So basically in that, let's say, cluster, we have now 5 universities from 4 Nordic countries.
Okay, working together, even
working
with
together,
social science and geology and
and environmental aspects. And so basically we are aiming to cover the whole value chain in mining sector with focus to Arctic.
Okay, from beginning to the end.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically from opening of the area for prospection up to closure of the mine.
Okay.
And then, from time to time, when we see that there is some opportunity to get funding, then we are writing some applications. So far we have applied with 2 different type of applications. One was for Nordforsk for master program. We haven't got it. And then another one was ITN for PhD. At the PhD level, again, we haven't got it, but we learned a lot and we had a lot of fun.
This is our life, apply and rejection.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I think I covered all the point from my side. I don't know if you have something to add, but it's, please.
Yeah, so I really like the interview and I enjoy it. And
thanks, Sabina. And I really appreciate your time. I know that you are traveling today to Bergen to start a new project with industry somehow.
We will see. So it's a conference supported mostly from industry on deep sea mining.
Okay.
So we will participate in conference and see if there are any
opportunities there.
Yeah.
Wish you good luck with some good fund, with some good connection. And again, I would like to thank you very much for your time and wish you a safe trip to Bergen and back to Tromsø after finishing the conference.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Thanks, Sabina.
Yeah.
So I hope that the interviews you received it well. I highlight some point from the interview to open the discussion between us. And actually, I can classify this point into 2 groups. One of them related to the opportunity and the challenge, and the second point is related to the methods of this cross-disciplinary courses. So maybe I can start with the methods itself, because I can see that most of you are interested in the method to just transfer the method or to come like find a way to create a new course. Actually, I can see here we have like 5 or 4 methods to design this multidisciplinary courses or multidisciplinary program. We have the first one that is highlighted by Sabina, and actually it will highlight also tomorrow in one of the interview. Sabina was working in this mining sector, but tomorrow we have an interview with a businessman who are working with the IT sector, IT and big data and technology sector in general. And both of them actually highlight this type of programs, this interdisciplinary program, where they establish sort of research project between academia and business. And through this research project, they start to hire PhD, master students, bachelor students, and so on to work with this project. So actually, this program is based on or built on an existing collaboration between academia and business in order to solve real problem in the business sector, where the students start to jump in order to help to do some tasks for long time. And through this program, the students start to learn new things. This is the first thing or the first model that is highlighted by Sabina and will be highlighted tomorrow by this guy who is working or running this IT business. The second program, it's almost similar somehow. It's the monitoring program. She said that at the university here, we run some monitoring program where the students go to the business sector, working with the business sector for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, get some credit out of these 2 weeks and return back to the university. The third program or the third way to do it is, as we discussed, to add a layer above an existing course. So you can, for example, find a course, business course, for example, at Edinburgh University, and then you add like a layer, 1 lecture, 2 lecture at the top of this course, where you can, for example, cover topic related to environmental issue or topic related to chemistry, topic related to mining. So the core course is business, or the core course is geology, and then you have a layer at the top of it that include more information about another subject. Also, she highlighted at the end that there is a program that, or there is a course that they try to get fund on it. And this course actually, it's not just a course and then at the top of it, there is a layer of another subject. It's sort of 50-50%, like really multidisciplinary courses. There is professors who are teaching several lecture in one topic. And she highlighted that there is a big collaboration between Tromsø University and several other universities in this area, and each university contribute with something. Like here we contribute with geology. There is another university somewhere contribute with the economy part, with social part, with the law part or ethic part, and then each professor start to put some part or something, 2-3 lecture in order to construct the full course. So this is the four methods that she is highlighted. We can add to this 4 methods the methods that we try in the Cloud Earth Eye to develop somehow, which is like the student come with a challenge, student come with idea, and then they go to a course. This course is, we can say 50-50, like 5 modules, 6 modules, each module designed by a professor who are working in one team. And through the course, the students start to change somehow their idea. And above all that, we can add also one module more, one mechanism more, which is the mechanism that we would like to use in the new Erasmus Plus program, the Inspire the Mind program, where we invite the business sector, we invite the government sector, the NGO to the university for workshop or for hackathon, for example, for 2-3 days, in order to define the objective that they think this is important for our society. And based on this objective, we start to build the course around it. So this is, I think, this is the conclusion of the first part that I would like to cover. This is a 6 way of how we can design such courses or such a program. And here we didn't speak only about courses like academic courses, but programs like, you know, you can go for monitoring ship for 3 weeks and then return back. During this monitoring period, you get more knowledge when you are there at the business sector or at the company working together within the ecosystem that you're supposed to work after you get your degree. So I don't know if you agree, disagree with this six model, if you have something more, if you have something different in your mind, or another methodology that you would like to follow or you already follow. Yeah, please.
Thank you. So I think with respect to Edinburgh, they already follow the inviting NGOs and government people like politicians. We had a Brazil government politician come in and talk about his political adversities and, you know, how they deal with particular government and what's his view about international law. We also have eminent academia coming to Edinburgh to address the students, but yeah, it's students' interest to sign up on different topics. So I think Edinburgh already follows that. So my thing with respect to mentorship. So how do you think universities can, you know, collaborate and ask for mentorship? Like, even if the students are ready, do you think universities would provide them with access and resources to have it? Because if you want to talk about me in person, then I really want to go in for a mentorship. But would my university offer me a chance? Would it pay for it? But considering the student costs, would it pay for it? Like, what are the opportunities open for me because I'm still studying? Would the mentorship, would the eminent scholars take me? How is that perceived?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, this is one of the challenge that is highlighted within the context of this interview, and several people who attended this course highlight this challenge. If we have assumed that we have this mentorship program, who will teach, who will give the credit, and who will pay? So you, for example, you will go to a company for 3 weeks. Who will pay for you? Is the company or the university? This is the first point. Second point, who will give you credit? So do you think that you will get credit out of this 3 weeks or not?
I think more than credit, it's about the experience and the learning out curve out of the whole process of what knowledge I'm acquiring through
exactly.
the
So actually, this is a third point, which is the context of this period. Will you go, for example, you will get something out of it, or you just will go to the company, sitting, drink tea for 3 weeks and return back?
Yeah, right. That's
right.
the thing.
So
our universities, I also want to say, our universities open to this kind of concept? Are they willing to send their students for mentorship?
I think, you know, basically what I can see here, for example, in Tromsø, they say, yeah, we are open, but when you are go to regulation, when you are go, okay, we would like, okay, this guy went to this company and he already succeeded to get something. Will you give him or her some credit? They say no, for example. So, you know, this is one of the challenge.
Because it's really hard for a foreign student, you know, to go by herself or himself and find a mentorship.
Yes.
Because we don't have that much of experience. If I'm talking from my perspective, I'm really new to this country and it's just been 11 months. So I don't think any company would want to take me considering my skills and knowledge. And
Why
So-
I am owner of a company? Why I get you, for example, to fill a
Yeah.
space, use computer for 3 weeks? This is money for me. This cost money for me
Yeah.
as a company.
Even if I'm willing to work voluntarily for the company, is the company willing to take me? But I think the university acts like an extra protection layer where they can actually, you know, talk to the company and help us with that. So I
Yes.
think that's a really nice
Yes.
way to
But
do it.
I would like to highlight here, if you see in this interview, she all the time, Sabina, try to highlight something, that she use the personal network, the personal connection between her and other companies, between her and other colleagues in the field in general, to establish this collaboration. So actually, it's something not from the students. So the students can't go, for example, to a company and say, I would like to work with you for 3 months, for example, or during the summer, or I would like to have a program with you. Because the company, I don't know the students. But the company, if the academic sector, if we as academia start to establish this collaboration, at least at the research level, not education level, just research level, we go to the company, okay, we would like to get some financial from external partner to help a problem for you, or you can pay us, for example, to solve this problem, as Sabina highlighted. And based on this collaboration, this scientific collaboration, you can first build trust between you and the company, where you can say, okay, I have 2 students next year, master student, and I would like to have like 3 weeks of training for them. The company will say, yes, of course, you are welcome, because we know this professor, and we know that the student who will come from him is highly motivated students, and the professor know the context of the company, the knowledge that the company will transfer to the students. So I think in order to establish this program that is based on research or collaboration or monitoring, that we brought students from university into the business sector for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 year. We need to establish this contact. So actually, our colleague in Egypt, he says that if we didn't find, or we have to establish these things. So if we didn't have it, we need to establish it.
I don't think it should just be with the business, you know, it can be within the university itself. It can be mentorship, research mentorship under the professor, or different, as every university is established. Like Edinburgh has different institutes and different streams. So if someone's interested in a particular thing, I think applications are definitely open, but you know,
yes,
they're not more open to studying students. They want someone experienced.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of thing would just make it more open and broad and more inclusive.
Actually, she highlighted something, not only the business sector. Of course, most of the interview was focusing on business sector because she worked with them, but she highlights the public sector.
Yes.
So why not? We can send our student to public sector as well. But again, it's, you know, again, we need to know exactly what is the student will get out of this this mentorship period, and what the public sector will get out of it. So again, it's based on collaboration. You need to build collaboration between us as academic sector and other stakeholders. And even, as you said, between academic and academic. For example, this program that Sabina tried to highlight or try to get fund for it, and unfortunately, so far they didn't succeed to get fund, where several universities working together, and each university try to put a component in a course. That's a program that will cover the mining sector in general, from extraction until production and so on. It's based on this network. So actually, she knows people from other university. Maybe she has some collaboration, research collaboration, and based on that, she start to go for the teaching part. So it's a model of network. And if, for example, assume that you would like to create not a monitoring program, not to send your students to a business sector or to government sector. You would like to establish a course at your institute, just a simple course, academic course. And you would like to not have this 50-50, like 50% environment, 50% ethics, for example, or other topic. You will have like a course that mainly environment, and then you have a simple layer of ethics or sustainability or something like this. But actually, you don't have the experience to add this layer. So actually, you need someone to help you, right? So again, you need to find someone to help you, and this is our target. So from tomorrow or today evening, you try to think, okay, I would like to establish this program somehow. This is a project that you will present in a month from now. And this project, for example, will include two topics, geology and environment, or space science and sustainability, things like this. Okay, I am aware of sustainability issue because you are working with this, but I don't know anyone who can help in the space science. So you start to think, okay, who can contribute with this part of the course? So this is a point that we need, like, sort of collaboration in order to build such courses. I don't know if Randall agree with me, disagree, and maybe you can like tell us more about how the international unit in Edinburgh University is working in this context, like context of multidisciplinary courses or teaching activity or mobility between universities.
Yeah, so I can just say a little bit about the course that I've been talking about, because I mentioned previously that we found partners who had different expertise or different specializations. So, for instance, for the course has an entrepreneurship component. We had partners from Lund University in Sweden, and they have a really good like entrepreneurship center there. So they had people who were able to contribute the content, and then just kind of like exactly like you were just explaining, just finding the right people and recognizing that this is what we can provide. We can't provide everything. We need to find the other people who can provide it, and it might be a bit of a process, like some people it has to like find the right people. It has to come at the right time. There's plenty of people who say, oh, that sounds great, but we don't have anyone who has the time to do that. So
Yes.
sorry, and then you just move down the list to find the people who do want to be involved at the time.
So it's the same concept, like, find, as you said, find the right people, the right partner, the right professor in another institute who can jump and can try to help you to establish such program or such courses. Yeah. Good. So if we go to the second part of the discussion that Sabina, or the point that Sabina highlighted. Of course, she highlights the opportunity because, as Dave at the first interview highlight, we have a lot of a challenge and we need to move. We need to move very fast. The agenda for sustainability agenda for 2030, this is 8 years from now, 7 years from now. And we increase, the temperature is increase, the climate change, you see how the environment is changed very fast during the last 5-10 years. And we need to move very fast as well in order to stop this catastrophic situation. And who will move? Actually, the people who will move is the students. you know, the students who will go to the job market, who will start to work in the job market in order to reduce the emission. They will work in business sector, and they will work in government institute that aim to reduce emission or aim to make our resources more sustainability or so on. So we need to train our students and give them these soft skills. So this is one of the opportunities. So if we succeeded to establish such programs, regardless what is the program is, like training, like mentorship, or 50-50 program, or just a program of a topic, and then you add a layer at the top of it, regardless what is the program is, I think we need to go in order to achieve our target, because you know the environment started to or the earth start to behave aggressive against us. So we need to move ahead. Then he also highlighted the challenges. And one of the points that she has highlighted is the networking. So she highlighted that we need to establish this network. And I think, Roland, maybe you find this as a challenge as well, to find the right person or the right institute to get in contact and to get the institute in a process in order to establish like collaboration program, right? I think this is one of the challenge. It's not, it can work like personal, if you know someone at this university, and then you drop him or her email, okay, we would like to establish this program or so on. But do you think there is sort of collaboration at the level of institutes, not based on personal level, like collaboration program, well-established collaboration program between Edinburgh University and this university or that university?
I think maybe it's just a level of, it's just an issue of scale, because I think that there's certainly some things that we do that are based on, let's say, one person or two people at another institution, and it's because they are interested in it, or you know, they want to be involved, and then if they get a different job, then all of a sudden it's falls apart.
Yeah.
But if you have, say, you're just looking at the relationship between, you know, two institutions, if you have 25 different links, then it's going to be a much, you know, it's going to be a much stronger connection. So if one of those falls apart, that's fine. And but then the more links you have, the more, you know, the higher likelihood that you can create new ones. Because we have people who are interested in getting involved with some university, and we say, well, we know some people there, so we can get you in touch with them, and then they can maybe get you in touch with other people. So just the, you know, one connection already helps you create more.
Yes.
But yeah, it there definitely can be a fragility to it, you know, if it's just one thing, one person, things change, you know, they move on, or they don't even move on, they just get different, you know, different workload or different priorities, or, you know, whatever, they can't prioritize it anymore.
Yeah. So I think this you consider it as a challenge, you know, because everything what we see now, it's based mainly on collaboration between 2 persons, 3 persons, 4 persons. And as you said, it can be challenged because, you know, maybe this person has other load or other things to do. He was not able to jump and help. But if we can build on that in order to have collaboration at the institute level, in this case, it will be difficult to fail, because, you know, if this guy is not there, no problem. There is someone else who can jump and can run it. But actually, this will send me to another challenges. One of them, credit. Who will give the credit? If, for example, there is a course that established between Al-Azhar University and Edinburgh University. And there is a student enrolled in this course here and there. Who will give this credit? If this course will be credited or not? Especially, Randall, you are working in this international office, so maybe you have experience about that.
Yeah, credit is a very big challenge. We have not come up with a solution for it yet. Basically, we run almost everything we do is non-credit bearing, because other institutions might vary, but Edinburgh in particular is very strict on credit. It basically is not willing to recognize other institutions' credit. So students will go and do a summer school at a university, and they'll get 5 credits or something like that. To Edinburgh, they don't mean anything. They just say that's nice, but we're not going to get anything for that. Yeah. So that's a major issue, which we really don't have any good solutions for.
Actually, I tell you that the project, the Cloud Earth Eye, of course, we have the same problem, but we try to solve it somehow, and we didn't succeed to solve it with Edinburgh.
Yeah, you didn't succeed with Edinburgh.
No, we didn't succeed, actually. Yeah. So how we solve it? We solve it through a student who will enroll in this project. Actually, in the last semester, we have 300 students enrolled from different countries, from the 5 countries. They will get credit from their institute. Of course, this will not apply for the student who enrolled from outside the 5 partners. So, for example, students who are enrolled from Egypt or from Africa, they will not get any credit. But students who are enrolled from, for example, from Tromsø University, they will enroll through a special course, and through this special course, they will get 3 credit. Students who are in Austria, for example, again, they first of all, they succeed to get credit out through special course or special curriculum. And now for University of Applied Science Bergenland, actually they used our course and they embedded in the regular courses there. So students there take the course, get credit, easy peasy. For Edinburgh, no. So
yeah, I think this is actually what Sophie has been wanting to get in touch with us about, because there is one solution at Edinburgh, and it certainly works. We've used it in the past, but it's not straightforward. It's basically where the student can, and I was going to bring this up actually when you were talking, Nags, about the the like mentorship program. So at Edinburgh, students can go and do something over the summer, and they do like an internship or volunteering experience or something like that, and they can enroll in this special course, which they can get credit for. So they get credit for the course itself that they're enrolling in, not the actual experience, but the course is related to the experience. So it's basically a framework, like a reflective framework. So they're doing the experience, an internship or whatever, and then this other course is guiding them in reflecting on the experience. So they're meant to collect evidence, and they set goals, and they set kind of development goals and learning goals and things like that. And then they're kind of writing up reports during it. And then at the end of the summer, they have like a 3,000 word essay, which is like a personal reflective essay, what they gain from it in terms of skills, but also like different mindsets and things like that. So it's like I said, it works. I mean, hundreds of students do it, but it has its own challenges, because it's different from just getting credit directly for the experience. it's something over and above the experience. It takes time itself. You know, it's not for everybody. It's really deeply reflective, which, you know, some students are not comfortable with. Some students find it really challenging. But yeah, that is basically the only option at Edinburgh for kind of extracurricular things.
Yeah. Actually, I'm aware of this discussion, I think, between you and Sophie. Is it between you and Sophie, right? Or
yeah, well,
Sophie and
they
someone
so
else?
yes, Sophie, and I think, is it Christina at Edinburgh Innovations
Christina,
as well?
exactly. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we were gonna have it, but then they kind of put it on hold at the moment. But I think for maybe some point down the road.
Yeah, because I am aware that early in the summer she tried to get credit for the basic course, and for some reason we couldn't because all of the points that you highlighted, and then she highlighted that okay, maybe we can use this experience, saying that we put our students outside with a task, with a challenge, and then they can get credit through these special courses also. So hopefully it will work, just to give the students something except the certificate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the details, but you know, it could have been the reason why he couldn't have done it. Maybe it just practical things, like it has to be, you know, there's certain deadlines that you have to like let people, you know, you have to like let the school know and stuff like that.
I
So
think
maybe,
one of the challenge that we have, that we need a professor from Edinburgh to teach the course.
All right.
Actually, the course is taught by like 5 or 6 professors from different universities. So actually, this is something important about the certificate, because we highlight this certificate. So all of you who enrolled in this course will get a certificate by the end of the course with or equivalent to 35 teaching hour. So this certificate is from the project and is validated from the EU. So all of you will get this certificate by the end of the course, so sometime in October or so. Even if you are not from our partner, so our colleague from Egypt as well will get the certificate. It's not an issue. So now actually, one of the challenges that I have, and maybe you highlighted under the table, Randall, in your thing, or in your discussion, who will pay for the course? So for example, if you establish, so first problem, if you establish a course between Edinburgh University based on this personal things and Al-Azhar University, for example, first problem that we will have will be the credit. Who will give the credit, or how you will give this credit to the students? And the second, who will pay? So for example, here in Tromsø, I am sure the system as well, it work in Edinburgh like this. Like if you have a course at this institute, and this course, for example, attract 100 students, the course will get some support from the university, like some financial support. But if next year the course got 200 or 300 students, the financial support that they got from the university is a bit higher. So depend on the number of the students. It's work here like this. So I don't know if this is the same model there in Edinburgh or not, but who will pay for the time of the people? I think this is one of the challenge. So if you as a professor at Edinburgh University and you got an invitation from Tromsø University, from here, we would like to establish a course together, and you will contribute with 3 lectures in this course. Who will pay for you? Right. So this is one of the challenges that I think we need to find a solution for it somehow. I don't know if you can like cover something like, there is a special program, for example, in Edinburgh that cover something like this, like international courses or so.
I can't speak too much for the academic schools, because I'm, because I'm, not in one. But for us, for instance, like we run this program, it's because there is demand from our students. There's a basic kind of business case to run the program. And that just means that the department that I'm in sets that as one of our priorities. So we're just getting paid, our salary to say, part of your job is to run this program because students want it, and it's a good program. I think that but something similar could work in the schools where it's less about, so in a sense it'd be the home university paying, but in a way of saying part of your job is to teach on some of these other international courses, because we see that as a strategic priority because of because of internationalization, or because of they're a good partner with us, or whatever, and it's like, so you don't have to, you can get out of other work, but you need to do this X amount of teaching on these other courses.
Yes, but this is actually is a challenge itself, because the context that you are put or you highlight is the institute asks the academic, you have to do that because there is a collaboration between this institute and that institute in this topic. So it's from the higher level. But if we start to establish a new program between Tromsø and Edinburgh, and I know that, for example, Randall is a great person to teach this topic, and I start to, this course, like personal collaboration between me and you. And after 5-6 years, the institute will see, this is great collaboration. We will upgrade it from personal level to institute collaboration. So you still have like 5 years of pilot testing of this course that there is no resources to pay. So you need to find other way, like very strong collaboration that your friend or this close colleague will support you with his time or her time for free, or to find a mechanism that our universities can support this type of collaboration.
Yeah.
Because I think this type of collaboration start from bottom to up, and in order to find to establish a good program that the student will see it. This is great program, and we need to enroll it. And by this way, the institute will order or will ask the academic to run it, and they will get money. I think 2-3 years. Pilot and test. It's not working here. We need to fix that. We need to fix that. Who will pay during this 2-3 years at the beginning?
Well, I guess you could like what I was saying originally, but it could be less the institution saying you need to teach on this course, but more like you need to be exploring these kind of opportunities in an open-ended way, and so they're not being told to teach on a course. They're just being told that 20% of their time should be devoted to coming up with courses like this.
Idea or so.
Yeah, exactly. And then they do it themselves, bottom up, saying, I've created this, it's working really well. That's just counts towards their kind of quota there.
Yeah, but this is not existing. So this idea that 10% of your time as academic should be spent to explore international program or international collaboration, I don't think this is existing. So maybe we can highlight something like this.
Yeah. And I think it's, it could be relatively easy to implement because there would be so many opportunities where you could start it. All it would take is a single department, all it would take is a single school within Edinburgh to say, this is our priority now. We want to develop multidisciplinary courses, international multidisciplinary courses. So all new faculty, they're going to have this, bit of their time that should be devoted to this.
Yes.
or maybe not all of them. Maybe there's, I know what they're doing in Edinburgh as well, is there's, you know, different tracks for faculty. So there's ones that want to focus more on like teaching, ones that want to focus more on research. So maybe it's like just ones that are teaching or something, you know, or maybe there's a third track that's like an international focus track where they do some of the other stuff that everyone does, but then they also kind of pursue these kind of opportunities.
Yeah. So I think we had a challenge, and I think there is something we can solve this challenge somehow. Of course, this is need, of course, change in the sort of administration of the universities, our universities. So we need like top leader to go for this direction, but at least there is something.
Yeah, and it'll vary as well by institution, because I know we talk to people, and I know, for instance, I don't know how it is in Tromsø, but in Edinburgh, for instance, it's very decentralized.
Yeah.
The schools have a lot of freedom, and I know that there are other you know, places in other countries where that's not the case. It has to come, it has to
from
come
the top level.
top. Yeah.
So it's from case to case, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I would like to I forgot to highlight something when you discuss this credit thing. I heard something called microcredit. Did you hear something like this, microcredit? What's this?
I don't know personally. I don't know if others might, but I just assume that it's the kind of thing where, you know, you get like from a summer school, you get like 3 credits or something like that. So it's just the kind of
collect some here, some
like breaking down the big blocks into smaller discrete credit bearing courses. I don't know.
I think I need to read more about this microcredit, because I don't know, maybe this is a solution for this credit problem, maybe. Good. So I think we still have 20 minutes, but 20 minutes, unfortunately, is a bit shorter than presenting one of things that I would like to present, or one of the interviews. But you have already the link. I will send the link again. So please go through this big list of interview. Actually, tomorrow we will run 2 or 3 of them. Maybe I can share my screen just to see. Yeah. So this is actually the workshop. Of course, the day is a bit old, because this is the workshop or the material for the first workshop. And you can see here different interviews. So you can go through some of them if you would like. Tomorrow, actually, we will present this interview, Islam Musa 1, and we will present the guy, this one, and one maybe Darina interview. So please go ahead and try just to go through this interview. Maybe you find something interesting. And then tomorrow we will start at 10 morning, 10:30, I think, or so. And then we will take like 3 interviews of this. I think each is something like 1 hour, or a bit less than 1 hour. And after that, we will start to discuss your project. So like an idea of a multidisciplinary program or course or topic, or just come with an idea, and we try to discuss a bit around it and see if you like, for example, maybe you like to work together in a group to create one course or one idea, or maybe you would like to develop your idea by yourself. So you would like to go for another colleague who is not in our team now, and then you can just contact this colleague in order to establish something. So tomorrow we'll cover this 3 interviews. We'll get like feedback from them. I think there is very interesting topic tomorrow. Maybe I will highlight one of them, actually, one interview with Sakalima. I will not present this because it will be too much, but Sakalima, he is a businessman, and he work again in the mining sector. And in the interview, in his interview, you will find it in this website. In his interview, he highlighted a complete failure of him. He said that he spent almost I didn't remember the number. Is it 200,000 krona or dollar? But it's 200,000 something, which is still big number. If it's 200,000 krona, this equivalent to 20,000 euro, something like this, which is big number. He's been this big number to establish a company, a mining company, or a company work in the mining sector, and he spent a lot of money. And after 3 years, he just failed. He lost all the money. And the point why he lost his money, that he discovered after 3 years that he need someone with him with business-oriented mind. He is just a geologist, and he don't know how to run a business. And as a result, he's just lose all of his money. And after that, after a few years, he collect some capital, small capital, and establish a new company. But this time, he established a new company with a colleague who has this business ideas. And he reflect during the interview that if at the beginning, when he has the first company, if he had some basic knowledge, business knowledge during his bachelor degree, or he got it during the bachelor degree, he thinks that he would succeed to run the company at this time. So he lose time, or he thinks that he lose time, he lose a lot of money, just because he didn't have this soft skills. So this is example of the need of the community. But tomorrow we'll have, like, three interviews, and then we discuss. And please, from today until tomorrow, try just to think in a topic of your project, and then tomorrow we can discuss some of them of this topic. And then from after tomorrow, you will be like alone working with your colleague, or with yourself, or with someone else here in this team, in order to establish this multidisciplinary courses or idea or project. And by the end, you will present this this idea in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Yep. So I would like to thank you very much. I don't know if you have any comment or any question or any request for tomorrow or for today, or. Yep. If not, so thank you very much. Have a good afternoon or good evening, and then see you tomorrow at 9:30 Egypt, 11:30 Egypt, 10:30 in UK, right? If I correct, I will check it again.
I think it's 10. That's what I have in
It's
my.
10. Okay, it's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually it's 10. Yes. So at 10 o'clock UK time and 11 o'clock Egyptian time. Yep. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
السلام عليكم يا دكتور.
عليكم السلام ورحمه الله وبركاته. ازي حضرتك يا دكتور؟
يا اهلا بيك. انت حضرتك ان شاء الله مسافر، قلت الصين باذن الله.
هو انا بالفعل سافرت، بس طبعا لما جت موضوع كورونا حضرتك لو هتقفل الريكوردنج.
اللي معلش الريكوردنج شغال.